Hello, relationship hackers, and welcome to day 18 of the 30-day Conscious Cock Boot Camp. I'm Chris Stone, and today we're going to talk about the clitoris, how it works, and how to use it. The clitoris is an amazing device. Its only function is sexual pleasure, and it has about 8,000 nerve endings, which is double what a penis has. Developmentally, the clitoris is the female equivalent of the penis. During prenatal development, all of us start off with the same thing down there, called the genital tubercle, which means little bump. And that develops into what's called the phallus, and then the phallus differentiates into either the clitoris for women or the penis for men. And as such, they have many similarities, like a glans or a head, a foreskin, and a shaft, and they're both composed of erectile tissue and swell when aroused. The clitoral head is what most people know about when they think about a clitoris, but recent advances in sexual anatomy research have revealed that the clitoris actually has a very large and intricate shape inside of the woman's body. It looks something like a wishbone with one leg, called the bulb, on each side of the vaginal opening. The head is a little bit in front of the urethra and the vagina, and it's a little bit different distance for each woman, and the distance away from the vaginal opening can determine whether or not the head of the clitoris gets stimulated during intercourse. If it's way far away, like an inch and a half, then the penis may completely miss the clitoris during penetration, while women with the clitoral head closer to the vaginal opening may experience clitoral stimulation from the same angle. So to improve your chances, the guy can inch up his shoulders a little bit higher than the woman's to change the angle of entry so that his shaft can rub the little nub while he thrusts. But that said, you've got to understand how the clitoris works. The whole structure is composed of erectile tissue, and if it isn't aroused and filled with blood, then it generally doesn't feel good to be touched directly or sharply or heavily. As a woman becomes aroused, then the clitoris becomes more erect. Touching it becomes more pleasurable. This explains why when a woman is not aroused, it can be annoying for her to have the clitoral head touched directly, but when she's fully aroused, she may enjoy having it stroked directly and repeatedly with firm pressure. But just focusing on the head is a mistake. The two legs or bulbs on each side of the vagina are part of the clit too, and they swell up and they get sensitive also. The opening of a woman's vagina is where most of the nerve endings are. Inside, there aren't many or any at all. That's because the bulbs of the clitoris surround the opening. So you can stimulate the clit through her vaginal walls right inside the opening on the left and right sides once she's moderately to fully aroused. Think circular motions and side-to-side strokes. There's a definite limit for how much stimulation feels good for the clitoris. And often when approaching climax or after climax, it can be so sensitive that the woman no longer wants her partner to touch it at all. You've got to read her cues, her body language, and the sounds that she makes, and back off when she indicates that it's too much. When the clit becomes too sensitive to stimulate directly anymore, it's time to turn to some surrounding areas and other things like the G-spot or penetration or caresses or kisses. It's been reported that more than half of women need to have their clitoris stimulated in order to have an orgasm. And the other way to say that is that intercourse alone isn't sufficiently stimulating for most women to climax. You got that? But by learning her sexual anatomy and varying the intercourse angle and position, guys can learn how to find the sweet spot and give her some delicious friction on the clitoral head and touch and stimulate those parts of the bulbs just inside the vaginal opening. So, of course, you can always use your hands and fingers to love it up during intercourse to make sure that it's touched. Just be aware of her responses and vary your touch, the pattern, the pressure, the friction until you find what she likes. And then keep doing that until she comes or her cues indicate to you that she wants something different. The word clitoris comes from the Greek word for key, which shows that the Greeks knew of its important role for producing pleasure for women. Learning its anatomy and how much to touch and play and love with it will unlock some of the mysteries of your lover's delicious orgasms, and you'll both enjoy the ride. All right, so that's it for today. I'm Chris Stone. If you've enjoyed this or found it helpful, please share it with somebody that could benefit from it. And if you want to hear more, then please subscribe to any of my media channels. Just search for Conscious Cock on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, or sign up by email at consciouscock.com. Hasta mañana.